I think that like Renee probably has the best experience. Whenever you switch games or switch mains, like switch platforms, like you're starting from zero. It doesn't matter if you had an audience in another game. When you switch, just consider you are starting from absolute zero.
Yeah, when I was planning on making the switch, I knew who my regulars were because thankfully I had the experience and I know the people who are there day in day out. I know the people that come to like these things that aren't even on my channel. They come to the shows that I guest on or whatnot. Like those are people that will put in the effort to find where I'm streaming and where I am and will always show up. And so I knew those people wouldn't have the problem of typing in mixer.com/Renee as opposed to twitch.tv/Renee. I knew those people would figure it out. So that would probably be, I would say that was like roughly 20% of my audience followed me over. Um, maybe, yeah, I'd say roughly 20%. And
That's pretty
so,
good.
yeah, it was actually a lot better than I was expecting. Especially considering the platform, like Mixer is a much newer platform. So it doesn't have the same features that Twitch has, but there's a lot of other really interesting things that I knew that if people stuck around with it, they would actually end up liking those things. It was change is scarce. People don't like change, so I anticipated that going in. But the fact that so many people did come and follow me over made that transition so much easier. Just knowing that there were familiar faces in the chat, even though everything about it was different. I was in a brand new world. It was like I got to bring my friends with me, basically. It's like when you go away to college, but like your best friend's going to the same college. So it's like it's crazy and different, but you're like, okay, but I have like my people who are going to be with me thick and thin. So shout out to my regulars. Thank you. I love you guys.
Well, and I think that you can kind of start to gauge that when you're starting out as variety from a one game stream, right? Is that what is your number that is the lowest number, but you can always maintain it, right? Like you will always have this many viewers no matter where you are. And just consider like that is your base. That's the solid foundation that you can build the rest of your stream upon. So yes, like shoot for the stars. You want like 1,000 viewers or whatever, but what you should really be focusing on is how many do I have when I'm not in my usual time slot, when I'm not playing my usual game, or like what are the faces that I see, like Renee was saying, when I'm not even on my own channel that come and see me.
Right.
And that's your foundation. That's what you should like. And I feel like obviously that also can change over time, but it's a lot more reliable to gauge your success based on that than it is to gauge your success based on your highest point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I
So some
also
of these.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That was all. There was three of us. Rock, paper, scissors.
It's your show. Yes.
I want to talk a little bit more about the platform switching because I see this pretty often where people are like, do I go on Mixer? Do I go on Twitch? That's like the biggest thing. It's like, do I stream on Mixer? Do I stream on Twitch? And Renee, like when you switched, like you went from Twitch 100% to Mixer 100%. People like starting out, like I tell them like, like try one for a bit, see how it goes, try the other one, like kind of test the waters. But with you making such a jump like that, like how much preparation went into making that decision?
I was in talks with Mixer for about a year before I finally actually switched over, because I wanted to make sure that the platform was actually sustainable, that they were going in a direction that I agreed with, and that they were doing things that, they weren't just going to be like MLG and like implode or something. We've all seen or whatever. What was the other one? Starts with an A. All the other ones were like basically if you got banned on Twitch, you went to that platform instead.
Right.
I wanted to make sure that I wasn't moving to a bad part of town, basically.
Yeah, you don't want to merely be in the gutter of streaming where all the washout.
And initially when I first started talking with Mixer, like they weren't quite there yet. And so I gave them a little bit of time and I got to know the platform and I got to know people there and I asked like their opinions of it and what they came like what the whole thought process was. And I ultimately decided to just do Mixer 100% because I wanted to put, as a broadcaster, I want to put everything that I have into my platform. Not like out of like crazy platform loyalty. It's just that splitting splitting your audience like that, it gets really confusing for your viewers. It gets really confusing for you too. So I just wanted to see, okay, if I put all this energy into this one platform, let's see what can happen of it. I'm going to give it my all, and I'm going to assume that they are giving me their all. They're going to do everything they can to make sure that this platform is going to grow and succeed. So why should I do the same?
What were some of the big elements that you maybe focused on, or after the switch realized that maybe you should have focused on for making a successful transition from platform to platform?
I really wish I had done more research on like things like basically you can't use like Streamlabs is there for both, but there's a lot of features on Streamlabs that aren't available for Mixer. There's a lot of things that just aren't available on Mixer yet because people haven't made them. What people forget about Twitch is like early Twitch, everything was third party. Everything was because somebody was like, I want this for my channel, so now everyone did it. But now, obviously, over the years, Twitch has integrated that into their own site. But that's where Mixer is. Everything is still third party. So trying to find those little third party things in like the matter of like 6 months was really, really difficult and took a lot of learning. Like they have a lot of different features that just Twitch doesn't have, like their mixed play board, their Sparks thing, like all these different things that I just didn't have the knowledge of. And I really wish I had, because it would have when people came over to my stream and said, oh, I'm new in Mixer, what's this about? I could have actually had more knowledge.
You have like a good answer
as opposed to just being like, well, I'm also new to Mixer too. Let's box this out together. Yeah. And like some people are super into that, but then other people are like, well, I don't want to do that. Like I'm leaving
work.
I think if I had spent a bit more time researching what features were available on Mixer, it would have been a lot easier. That was the biggest one.
I think like one thing we mentioned earlier is viewers don't like change either. So like if you're bouncing back and forth between a billion different platforms, or like, they have to learn something new, or you're changing your time slot, like from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., like you got to think about like the audience that you have and who you're carrying over. So like, when Renee switched, she went all in because like she already had an audience that she needs to like have follow her, right? Like it's not like when you're just starting out, you can kind of test the waters and get away with it a little bit more because you're still like at that bottom, you're still just kind of like testing things out.
I would honestly say, like, if you're brand new, like haven't streamed at all and not partnered on an affiliate, do the restream thing and just stream to all of them and see for the initial starting out phase, like for first few months, not in terms of growing, just in terms of things that you like about the stream. Like Twitch has the bits thing. It has a bit more like community based things like the VIP badges, the sub badges, sub tiers. But Mixer also has now like the Sparks thing where you can support a streamer without paying any of your own money. You just support them with currency you get by watching. And they also have a lot of different integrations for Xbox. So if like you're an Xbox streamer, maybe Mixer would be better. If you're more PC esports, maybe Twitch would be better. I think trying all of them is the best option if you're literally brand new. If you're established on one, stick with it for a couple of years and then consider it. But if you've only been streaming for like 6 months, like, well, it's not working out, I'm going to switch. Like you're just splitting your audience. You can't do that.